Next, I'm going to tell you about the important minorities in Kenya. The 2009 census figures give the ethnic composition as follows. Kikuyu, 17%, Luya, 14%, Kalenjin, 13%, Luo, 10%, Kamba, 10%, Kisi, 6%, Mijikenda, 5%, Meru, 4%, Turkana, 2.5%, Maasai, 2.1%, and about 9% of the population consists of smaller indigenous groups below 1% each, and non-African groups. So one important minority group is the Bantu people. The Bantu people are the single largest population division in Kenya. The term Bantu denotes widely dispersed but related peoples that speak South Central Niger-Congo languages. Originally from West Central Africa, Bantus began a millennium-long series of migrations referred to as the Bantu expansion that first brought them to East Africa about 2,000 years ago. Next people I'm going to talk about are the Nilotic people. They are the second largest group in Kenya. They speak Nilo-Saharan languages and came to Eastern Africa by the way of South Sudan. Most Nilotes, as they are called, in Kenya are herdsmen, and they have a fearsome reputation as warriors and cattle rustlers. The most prominent of these groups include the Luo, Maasai, the Samburu, and Turkana. As with the Bantu, the Nilotes have adopted many customs and practices from the Cushitic groups, including the age-set system of social organization, circumcision, and vocabulary terms. The final group I'm going to talk about is the Cushitic people. They form a significant minority of Kenya's population. They speak Afro-Asiatic languages and originally came from Ethiopia and Somalia in northeast Africa. Most are herdsmen and Muslim. Cushites are concentrated in the northernmost northeastern province, which borders Somalia. The Cushitic-speaking people are divided into two groups, the Southern Cushites and the Eastern Cushites. The Southern Cushites were the second earliest inhabitants of Kenya after the indigenous Bushman hunter-gatherer groups. The Eastern Cushites include the Oroma and the Somali. Of these, the Somali are the most recent arrivals to Kenya, having first come from Somalia only a few centuries ago. After the Northern Frontier District was handed over to Kenyan nationalists at the end of the British colonial rule in Kenya, Somalis in the region fought the Shifta War against Kenyan troops to join their kin in the Somali Republic to the north. The last but not least, in the minorities, I'm going to just talk about the non-African people. Arabs form a small but historically important minority ethnic group in Kenya. They are principally concentrated along the coast in cities such as Mombasa. A Muslim community, they primarily came from Oman and are engaged in trade. Arabs are locally referred to as Washiri, or less commonly as simply Shihiri, in the Bantu Swahili language, Kenya's lingua franca. Indians in Kenya are primarily noted for their business acumen. Many Kenyan Indians hail from the Gujarat region. While there have been some race-related tensions with the local Bantu and Nilotic majority, Indians nonetheless form one of the most prosperous communities in the region. Europeans in Kenya primarily consist of descendants of British colonials. Many are of aristocratic descent and still continue to wield significant influence, especially over Kenya's political elite. Britons and other Europeans in Kenya have also traditionally dominated the local business community. They are colloquially known as Mzungu in Swahili. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the politics.